Hey everybody, thank you for coming back to my channel. I'm Steve Luchon. I have decided to do something a little different than I'm used to today. I am going to do a reaction video. The video was originally uploaded to YouTube not that long ago. That happened at Blue Springs State Park in Florida, and it immediately got a lot of backlash. As a matter of fact, Dive Talk went and did a reaction video to it. You can find the link in the description below of both videos, the original video and Dive Talk's video. The purpose for me doing this tonight is not to try to outdo what Dive Talk did. I cannot do that. They did a wonderful job. I won't even try. However, there is something I'd like to add to it, so you need to keep watching this video. You will see, you will understand why, so just keep on watching. I've done some research on this. It is a cavern. There's also a cave at the bottom of this spring. It's a high flow spring. There are spots in it that can be pretty tricky and dangerous. It is not a very easy cavern to dive because of that flow and because of some of the restrictions and things like that. So I've been told. I'm going into this, please understand, I am not a cave expert, I'm not a cavern expert, I am not a dive professional. I am a technical rebreather diver with a lot of dives under my belt. I am just going to give my honest opinion about what I'm about to see. I am a father of young divers. This video is of a father bringing his son into what I believe, and many others also, a very dangerous environment. It seems very reckless and careless, but I want to watch it for myself. I want to give you my honest opinion. I'm going to react to it, so those of you that have not seen the video yet understand why we're all up in arms about it. Let me know in the comments below. Are we being too tough on this guy? Are we being Karens? I'm going to do the reaction now. Before I do, I did call Blue Springs State Park because I heard that they are no longer checking certifications for cavern divers to make sure that you are qualified to do these dives. That is in fact true. They stated their concern about that new rule. The guy I talked to, which I'm not going to put his name out there, he was very honest and said that he wishes that they would bring that back. He's scared that something may happen. He's also hoping that these videos that we're posting will maybe light a fire underneath the officials' butts, if you will, to try to get them to bring and reinstate that back. So we're not really sure why that rule was taken off. We're not really sure. But regardless, I'm going to do this reaction. I want you to tell me what you think. So here we go. At first glance, I'm seeing a child that's probably about my son's age, very young, 10, 11, 12 years old max probably. I do believe the father is filming, giving his son the okay signal. His son says, I'm okay. That's good. Notice, I mean, there are restrictions above them. There are restrictions. It's a cavern. I see one adult there. I know one adult is filming. I did find out that this adult here is friends with the guy filming and also has a child that you'll see later on in the video, I believe. Notice all of their trim. When I say trim, folks, in the water we want it to be like this, not like this. Especially in a cavern or a cave. We don't want to be silting things up, hitting the bottom. It's just not good. It's less efficient. There's a lot of reasons why we want to be in good trim. But from the looks of it, I don't believe these divers are cavern certified. I definitely know they're not cave certified. I see no redundancy, extra tanks, extra breathing gas. I know that they're not supposed to have lights if they're not cavern certified. This kid is not old enough to be certified in a cavern. Notice his buoyancy is just gone. He has no buoyancy. And the adults don't either, you'll see. Just crawling on the bottom, pulling himself along. Really just standing on the ledges. I mean, this is just so dangerous. And as a parent, you know, I mean, It just makes me nervous. So I know the guy down there is at 70 feet or so, I was told. And you see, this cave goes down deep, like 130 feet, maybe deeper, I don't know. Please let me know in the comments section below how deep that cave is. I know the cavern goes down to the cave. Look at the flow, folks. Look at his hair. You see the hair waving up? There is major flow coming up out of this system, out of this spring. That could blow you straight to the surface. I've seen videos where it was doing that to a couple divers. This kid could easily get caught in that. The adults as well. I know this child's probably having a great time and enjoying himself, but at what expense? He has no idea how dangerous this is. Look at him just laying there on the ledge. Anything could happen. Honestly. I have an 11-year-old son who got certified last year. And check out the links in the description below. You'll see, I mean, he's a great little diver. I'm a very proud dad if you haven't noticed. But I would never let my 11-year-old in here. I just wouldn't do it. I know this guy wants to build memories with his son. These are not the memories you want to be making. I mean, just losing his buoyancy again, just standing on the bottom, going a little bit deeper. There's the dad. I'm not trying to be rude, honestly. It frustrates me, you know. Oh no. He took the regulator out. Where are the bubbles? No bubbles. Oh, he's at about 30 feet, I believe. Has trouble with his mask. He could have a lung overexpansion injury. Oh my gosh, there's the other kid. Yeah, no fins. Parents holding the kid down. What if that parent let go of that child? That child could go shooting up because of that flow. They're all standing on that ledge. This is bad. So bad. I don't think I'm overreacting, honestly. They have no idea the dangers that could happen. Oh no. Now the kid's picking up a rock. That rock is bigger than his head. That thing weighs a lot. That could cause a buoyancy issue right there. You know, lose your buoyancy, panic, regulator flies out of your mouth, you shoot up to the surface, you don't blow bubbles. Now he's pulling himself deeper, of course. Laying on the rock, sitting on the rock. Dad's filming. I don't know what that was. Having fun, I guess. I mean, he's a kid. It's not his fault. It isn't. I'm not being mean to the kid. Please understand. Oh, and he floods his mask to show off for the camera, and he's struggling to get the water out. Anything like this, these are the things that could go wrong, right? Any one of these things that he's doing could cause him to panic. And that's the end of the video. That's all I'm going to react to. What do you think? Leave your comments below. I'm just curious to what everyone thinks right now. I mean, takeaways. I mean, we could start in the beginning of the video. I mean, trim, buoyancy, completely off. No redundancy. Obviously not cavern or cave certified. Child is way too young, regardless, to be in a situation like that. There's points where I see the dad pretty far away from him filming. If something went wrong, he's not going to be able to grab him. The other kid, no fins. Picking up big boulders and rocks. Grabbing and just walking across, standing on the bottom. There's just so much wrong with this. Anyway, I'm done with that. I wanted to be fair. So I decided to reach out to Ryan, and I wanted to know if he would be willing to come on an interview with me on this channel. And he said yes. So I want to, at this time, bring Ryan on, and we're going to get his take on all of this and hopefully clear some of this up. Hey, everybody. So I have with me here tonight Ryan. Ryan, how do you say your last name?
Beauchamp.
Awesome. Listen, I really commend you for coming on the channel tonight. And the fact that you're willing to discuss this and just really talk about it. it says a lot. It says a lot about you, I believe. And I think there's a lot of misconceptions already because that's the internet in general. People like to build stories and make assumptions based off of one video they've seen or maybe a comment or a reply that they didn't like. So I want to give you a chance to just explain your side of things, kind of how it went down for that specific dive. We're not going to talk about too much of the other stuff that's on your channel. And by the way, in the description of this YouTube video, we do have a link to his channel. You want to tell people what your channel name is called?
My channel name is Noah News 2022.
How long has your channel been out?
Man, I've been doing my channel for over 10 years.
Awesome. Awesome. I've seen you have a lot of videos on there. So I can tell you like to travel, and I see that you do a lot of cool stuff like that. Yeah, so if you would just kind of introduce us to you, to maybe your son, let us know a little bit about you if you don't mind.
So like he told you before, I'm Ryan Beauchamp. I have Noah News 2022. My son's name is Noah. Currently he's 10 years old. I've had the channel for so long. My YouTube channel is just for memories for my son. In case anything happens, he always has memories of when he rode his first bike, when he rode his first dirt bike, when he did his first dive. And that's memories that he'll always be able to have with me. That's the only reason I started my channel, not for fame, not for glory, just for him. And that now that the future is kind of picking up, it's looking like I'll be giving the channel to him, and that'll become his channel here in a couple of years, hopefully.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I listen, I get it, man. I'm a father of 3 boys. How many kids do you have?
I only have one.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'm a father of 3 boys, so I get it. And honestly, I kind of started my channel almost the same way. I just posted stuff, and if you look at my channel, you'll see in the description a couple of links, and it's videos of my son getting certified and my other little guys diving in the pool. So it's just something that as fathers, we want the best for our kids. We want them to experience life at its fullest and just enjoy themselves. And I get that. So I'd like to ask you a couple questions kind of going into this. And I just want your honest opinion, your reaction, what you think, and just let us know kind of what was going on. So first of all, what was the date that this happened? How long ago was this? This was pretty recent, right?
Yeah, I can't tell you the date. It was probably pretty recent, but I do go to Blue Springs almost every weekend.
How many times have you been at Blue Springs?
More than I can count, more than I can give you a number for. It's definitely up in the 400 or 500s because I've lived close to there my whole life.
Okay. And how many dives would you say that you have, like log dives that you could show if an instructor or a dive shop were to ask?
I actually did the total today. I have 198 log dives.
Okay. And what year did you get certified open water?
I just recently got certified open water, I believe November. So 1 year open water.
1 year open water.
I did a couple of months, and then I did my advanced. I did my nitrox, and then a couple months after that, I did my rescue.
Okay. So you did your rescue. Now, I saw on there, did you say at one point that you were Cavern certified?
Yeah, I was kidding around. YouTube Cavern certified. I don't consider Blue Springs a cavern where we were. I'm in the cavern zone, but my son wasn't.
Okay.
Now, like I said,
do you know how, sorry to cut you off. I'm just curious. Do you know how to define a cavern versus a cave? Do you know the difference? If someone were to ask you what the difference between the two are?
Yeah, sure. A cave is a place with no source of light. A cavern is an overhead environment, which at nighttime becomes a cave.
Okay. Now, that particular spring, is there a cave system at the bottom of that thing?
There is a cave system at the bottom that you cannot enter.
Yes.
It's not possible.
Okay. So going into this, I'm not a cavern or cave expert. I am a technical rebreather diver. I have over 1,100 dives under my belt. I'll be going on 1,200 dives here, probably in the spring. So I mean, I have some experience in doing what I do, but I am not a cave expert. I'm not a cavern expert. One thing I do want to kind of point out, and I know what everyone else is pointing out, is the you're saying it's not an overhead environment, and I know that you've been there a lot. I've seen the videos. I have friends of mine that dive there frequently, and they understand it is a cavern, right? In the fact that if you go in there, there are ledges, there are overhead environments within that cavern system. Is that correct? There are ledges.
Correct. Every single one comes to a dead end. There's really no place to get lost.
Okay.
It's,
Are there, from what I've seen, it looks like there are places where you could get trapped, where you could get stuck. Is that correct? I mean, from what I've seen multiple videos, and I've talked to people that are there actively, and there are places that can get pretty tight. Is that correct?
correct, if you're willing to go through there.
Okay. What was the max depth that you took your son, if you don't mind me asking?
On that day, I don't think we ever went over 38 feet. I've been trying to keep them at 40 feet because I did do some research. I'm very curious why kids aren't allowed to go deep. And I guess the pressure might cause stress on their growth plate, and it can prevent them from growth.
Well, there's a lot of reasons. I'm not sure about that. Comment below, you instructors. I'm sure you'll have a good explanation exactly why. I can tell you just from my experience, again, not an instructor. I'm not a dive professional. I am a technical diver with 3 boys, one of which is certified, got certified last year. Just the simple fact that when a child is going down, I mean, there is natural risks that are occurring, that could occur, especially with an adult. So you think a child, right? A lot of times they don't have the ability to foresee things like we do or be able to react like we do. A child sometimes won't even know they're in danger until it's too late. It's just the way that they are. And it's our job as parents to really be there for them, keep them safe, to be their guardians. And I know you were getting a lot of heat from people. Why would you take your son down there? Listen, I commented on that video too. I mean, as a father, I'm watching it, and there's things that really bothered me. Yeah, but this is the thing, right? Would you agree? I mean, you got to at least look at it from everyone's point of view. I should ask it this way. Why do you think so many people are calling you out on this and saying that it was dangerous and that it was reckless or that you shouldn't have done it? I mean, countless people are doing this. Why do you think that is?
I think Dive Talk didn't give me any credit at all. They just viewed the video, put it out there for clicks.
Okay. Do you agree though? Your video was out there before Dive Talk reviewed it, and I know was getting comments before they ever reviewed it. Is that correct?
Correct. That's from friends and family and a couple of people from the dive community. I post my videos to Central Florida Dive Club too on Facebook.
So that's probably how it might have gotten out. So just understand, a lot of people that are commenting on there, these are guys that are full cave instructors, guys that are obvious open water instructors for kids. I mean, these aren't just newbie divers, right? These are people that have thousands of hours more than you do, more than I do. I mean, there's some guys out there. So would you agree that they may see some things that maybe you're not seeing, some potential downfalls, risks, dangers that maybe you're not seeing by taking your son down there in that environment?
Well, my outlook on it is there's dangers and risks in everything you do, everything. Okay. And my son is certified, and at any time my son felt uncomfortable, he would have gave me the sign, and he would have went up. We would have went up together.
Sorry to cut you off. Let me just give you a scenario, just because of the sake of time. I don't want to keep you. I know it's late. What if he didn't know that there was a problem arising? What if he grabbed that rock in the video and lost buoyancy over the edge? In that split second, regulator flew out of his mouth. I know you were close by him, but what if he shot to the surface holding his breath? What if, he breathed on his air too much and he ran out and panicked and got water in his lungs? What if the unexpected happened so quick and panic set in and he wasn't able to tell you how he's feeling and you weren't able to react properly? I mean, what if that happened?
Okay, so there's many risks. Like I said, many risks with diving. Anything could go wrong. I'm not sure what could, but at any given time on all of my videos, I'm always very close to my son, and I know he comes before me. So I would have done everything I could to give him my regulator, and I would worry about him. I'm not too worried about myself. I shouldn't say that, but my main concern is my son. But at that moment, at that time, if my son was actually scared to go to Blue Springs at first, and it took him multiple times going there, diving, getting comfortable before we ever went there. And on our way down, so everybody can understand, in the video, when we're 23 feet, it took us 10 minutes to get down there. I'm watching him constantly, asking him if he's okay, and he's giving me okay signs. He's okay. He wants to go a little deeper, and then we work our way down nice and slow. We're in no rush. We're having fun. I consider this as a fun dive, not a technical dive, not a wreck dive, just messing around at 20, 30 feet. I didn't see the harm in that. Yes, risk can happen. Things can go wrong. I just, as a father and my son, I feel comfortable that we were comfortable at that depth, at that level, at that moment.
Okay. And pardon me for kind of push on that. It's just, again, as somebody who had 800 dives plus, and I had a very crazy, scary incident happen to myself. I had a lot of experience. I knew what to do. I was a technical diver, certified. I mean, there's stuff that, the depths that I was doing, the temperatures I was diving in, the gear I was using, the redundancy, I had it all with me. But when things happened wrong, it was a cascade of issues. And I made some bad decisions, right? But I'm not the only one. There's guys that are far more certified than I am that have been through the same thing because of panic. So I would just like you to maybe consider that in going on in the future, that you put yourself in a situation, think how would you feel if it didn't go as planned? And I know you said that it was a calculated risk and your son was worried, but then he kind of did it and was able to do it, and you guys went down slow, and I understand that. But you said something that unnerved me a little bit, honestly, and it was you don't know of the risks, you said, and what could happen. I mean, there are dozens of things that could happen, right? I mean, literally dozens of things that could happen. So it unnerves me a little bit. And what I would just ask you is to just take the comments and the criticism. And I know some people are rough. I get it. But
I had death threats.
What?
I had death threats from that video, man.
Yeah, and listen, people can be rough, but I know a majority of the people are honestly concerned, as I am, right?
Right.
Because I just hope that you would take and consider the comments, read through the crap, and look at some of the comments where people are legitimately trying just to get you to. It's like a cry for help, right?
Right.
What would you like to say to everybody? Because I read all of the replies. I went on Facebook, on YouTube. I read them all. And I'll be honest with you, some of your replies they were a little hard to read. It was. What would you like to say? What was going on in your head when you were replying? Is there anything you'd like to say to people to kind of maybe say it differently at some of those replies? Is there anything you'd like to kind of add to it? Just maybe to give them a different perspective.
Yeah, on a different perspective, I was writing all that at work, just running through it. I was getting a beep, looking down, reading it, replying, keep on doing my job. But I do understand all the comments. I've read through them. I'm not a know-it-all. I definitely am not the best diver. I'm learning. My kid's learning. We're here to have fun. Some of the comments are good. Some people are making some strong points. I'm watching other people side with me, side with them. But at the end of the day, people are reacting to the video because my kid's in it. And the most important thing is to keep kids safe. So I do everything I can to keep my kid out of harm's way. Like I said, at that depth, at 24 feet, 28 feet, I was confident if anything happened, we could go straight to the surface with no problem. That was in my
so this is, and I again, sorry to cut you off. I have so many things running through my mind, but in that 20-foot range, right, where he took that regulator out, there was no bubbles being blown. There's obviously, I mean, that water is flowing up. I mean, it can, I know just from talking to people and just watching the video, it's a high flow area. So
I was very mad. You guys couldn't see me because I'm holding the camera, but I was behind the camera telling him not to.
What if he lost his buoyancy at that time? What if he held his breath? And that 20-foot, are you aware that most changes, according to Boyle's law, are happening within that 20-foot section of water? Are you aware of that?
I'm aware. I mean, like I said, there's risks. Anything could happen. I'm not prepared for everything. The only thing I can answer that is if a flow of water did push up, I would grab them or do everything I can to get to them very fast. Now, the only reason I've been kind of arguing on there with people is Blue Springs has a steady flow. It doesn't give gusts. It has one steady flow. So once he's there, he's there. It doesn't shoot you out at that depth.
Okay.
Another before I cut you off, another reason I was kind of upset with people is Woody and Gus have never been to Blue Springs. They're reacting to a dive site they've never been to. And that kind of upset me a little bit too, because I've been there many times. So have other people. And Blue Springs is an open water dive site to 60 feet. Okay. And then it is Cavern. And then there is a cave at the bottom at 115 feet that has so much flow you can't go down.
Okay. I guess I just wanted to give you a chance to really, say something as a final response to people's comments, because I know you could see it was frustrating people, including myself. Your response, it seemed to be kind of carelessness or lack of, looking at the severity of it and saying, well, there's risks involved. But you do have to agree. I mean, it's our job as parents to make sure our kids are safe. I mean, that's like putting them in a situation where, like, what if you couldn't grab him? What if he bolted? Kids do that. What if you turned your head for 1 second and he was gone, or something happened and you couldn't get up to that surface fast enough? I
try not to worry about
what.
I try not to worry about the what ifs. I try to just do what's comfortable, what we're happy doing. And I really don't worry about the what ifs and if this could happen, if that could happen, because that causes fear. And I don't think most people like fear. Some people do, but me and my son like to live life and have fun a little. We take risks, but we don't go beyond our limits. And I think, some of the audience does take risks and some don't. Some are overprotective, some are underprotective. Everyone has their own opinion. Everybody's special and different and unique in every way.
One of the things with Cave and Cavern, the certification, one of the things that you will learn in there, and it's right on TDI's website, is risk assessment, right? And how to handle potential problems. That's one of the things you would get if you took a Cavern or a Cave course, like Intro to Cave or a Cavern course. They would explain these things, because not knowing what the risks are, because you don't want to have fear or you don't want your son to be scared. Fear, I believe fear is not necessarily a bad thing, in the fact that having proper fear, a healthy fear of a potential situation that could hurt somebody or even be fatal, I think it's a good thing to take that fear and let it motivate you to learn and to be safe. It doesn't mean you can't take those risks as an adult, but knowing what the risks are and having that healthy sense of fear, I personally do not think, and I think many people will agree with me, that it's not a bad thing. If anything, it's a very healthy thing. So I'd like you just maybe to consider that and understand I just like you to consider it, right? I'm not trying to change the way that you think. I'm not here to bash you. I think you could see that. I'm asking just honest questions and just really, I think a lot of people are just concerned. And so that's basically kind of how I wanted to do this. I just wanted to get your side of things. And I do appreciate you coming on. I commend you for it. I know this isn't easy. Um, you said that you were going to be posting more videos and stuff, and I look forward to seeing that. I know other people are going to be as well. I would just hope that you go into it, maybe just second guess. Is this a good thing? What are the potential risks? I would really implore you to really go for that Cavern certification if that's what you enjoy doing, and it seems like it is. And I would recommend you do that highly. I mean, I'm sure there's some great instructors around your area that would take you under their
It's
wing.
really not what I want to do though. I don't want a cave dive. I don't want a cavern dive. It just happens that Blue Spring's my favorite spring, and I wanted to go to the bottom, and it's a cavern. So I mean, that's really the only one I like doing. I don't just go to cave diving locations and go in the cave. I've been to Beaufort, but I don't go into the cave. I don't go on any lines. I like to dive the site.
And you're aware of the fatality at Beaufort, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. So you understand. And what is Beaufort? It's a spring, correct?
Correct. And the scary thing is I dove the spring, and 2 months later, those people passed away, and they were at my depth, the depth that I was at down there, and that was the deepest I've ever been.
Yeah, and so you do understand. I mean, regardless, I mean, there are risks, and at that place that you and your son are at, I mean, you would agree that there are risks and that it
Correct.
could be dangerous. So as long as we go into this, or sorry, end this, understanding that, I feel better that I talked to you about it. I feel like I got some stuff off my chest. I think other people, hopefully, we get some closure with it. And I just, just stay safe, man. And if you're going to do those things, I'm still going to say it. I implore you to take the course. I think it'll open your eyes. And I think your son would also, when he's old enough, 15 years old with parental consent, when he's old enough, if he wanted to take the course, I know he would benefit greatly because it seems like he really is enjoying himself. And it's great to see him enjoying himself,
His goal is to be a master diver before 15. So I told him whatever classes he wants to take, I'll pay for him and sign him up. His next class is fish identification. He'll be taking that next week, and we'll be going from there.
I hope you guys stay safe. Thank you for coming on with me. I do appreciate it, honestly. I want you to have a good night, and make sure you tell your son that I said hi. And I hope that you guys have a great time diving, okay?
Thank you, man. Have a great day.
Take it easy, man. Thanks again.
Bye-bye.
Bye.